E-commerce transactions, illustrations and test your knowledge. Questions. Illustration 1. Nishpaksh associates selling own products through a website hosted by it. Is it e-commerce operator? Whether required to collect TCS? Answer. Nishpaksh Associates is e-commerce operator. Section 52 TCS collected on net value of taxable supplies. Nishpaksh Associates selling their own products through website. TCS is not applicable. Transactions are liable to GST. Illustration 2. Sitcom Technologies Limited purchased goods from different vendors and sells them on its own website under its own billing. Is TCS required to be collected on such supplies? No. TCS is to be collected on net value of taxable supplies. There are two transactions in this case. One is purchase of goods. GST is paid to vendor and ITC is available. And the other is sale made on own account using own website. Not required to collect TCS and GST is attracted. Now coming to test your knowledge questions. Question 1. StarCart is a website name, is registered in Delhi, e-commerce operator, liable to collect TCS under section 52. StarCart allows other vendors to supply through its website, and also it charges fees of 10% of gross sales per month. Plus, StarCart also sells its own products like Amazon. StarCart makes payment to the seller after adjusting TCS. Invoice issued in the name of customers. StarCart has no responsibility of shipping the goods. In case of return of goods, shipping is arranged by StarCart and charges 20% as cancellation charges and refunds the balance to customer. Further 10% is collected by StarCart as handling charges for return of goods. In January, Pulkit of Rajasthan purchased the following: laptop rupees 50,000, printer of rupees 10,000, sold by seller Infocom Limited, listed on StarCart in Uttar Pradesh. A mobile phone for rupees 30,000, sold by StarCart on own capacity. CCTV camera rupees 1 lakh, sold by Secure World, the seller listed on StarCart, registered in Gujarat. Above amounts are exclusive of GST. Opening balance of ITC is nil. GST on all inward and outward supplies. CGST 9%, SGST 9%, IGST 18%. Compute net tax payable including TCS and net GST payable in cash. Solution. Answer to first question. Computation of net tax liability including TCS. The answer summary is TCS collected plus GST payable plus GST on listing services. Particulars amount. TCS on laptop and printer 50,000 plus 50,000 into 0.5, which is 30,000 IGST, because location IGST, because location is Delhi and place of supply is Uttar Pradesh, which is IGST rupees 300. Next, GST paid by StarCart on mobile phones at 18% on 30,000 into 18%. Supply on own account, no TCS is to be collected, but GST at IGST, because location is Delhi and place of supply Rajasthan, which is IGST rupees 5,400. Next, TCS from supply of CCTV camera. TCS is equal to 1 lakh into 0.5%, which is 500 of IGST. IGST because supplier Rajasthan, supplier Gujarat, place of supply Rajasthan. Next, listing services at 10% of turnover. Laptop plus printer plus CCTV, which is 1 lakh 60 into 10% into 18%, is the IGST. IGST because location Delhi, place of supply Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat, which is IGST. Total GST liability including TCS for January is 9080. Now computation of net GST payable in cash by the individual suppliers. First, by Infocom Limited for the month of January. GST payable by supplier. Gross GST liability 60,000 into 18% of GST amount. GST rate minus ITC on listing service which is 60,000 into 10 percentage into 18 percentage, minus TCS credit 60,000 into 0.5 percentage, which gives net GST liability. GST payable by supplier, gross GST liability minus ITC on listing services minus TCS credit gives net GST liability. The TCS that was credited is TCS collected by e-commerce operator is allowed as TCS credited to supplier. Computation of net GST payable in cash by Secure World. Gross GST liability 1 lakh into 18 percentage minus ITC on listing service, which is 1 lakh into 10 percentage into 18% minus TCS credit, which is 1 lakh into 0.5 percentage, which gives net GST payable in cash. Gross GST liability minus ITC payable on listing service minus TCS credit, which gives net GST payable in cash. Second question. Rate of tax of 0.5 percentage, whether it is CGST or SGST or combination of both CGST and SGST. It is a combination of both. Solution. Question 3. Is every e-commerce operator required to collect tax on behalf of actual supplier? Yes, with respect to supply made through it is being collected by e-commerce operator. However, no TCS in following cases. Supply of notified services under section 9(5) of CGST Act on exempt supplies pay tax on reverse charge basis. Question 4. Whether TCS is applicable in below scenarios. Fitan sells watch through its own website, and our other part of the question is ABC Limited, dealer of Fitan brand, sells watches through e-commerce operator Flipkart. Solution. E-commerce operator not being an agent collect at such rate not exceeding 1% of net value of taxable supplies. If person sells on his own account, TCS is not applicable. Also, second part of answer to second part of question is, if ABC Limited, who is a dealer of Fitan brand, sells watch through Flipkart, then provision of TCS will be applicable. Question 5. A is e-commerce operator supplying in capacity of agent. What is the rate at which TCS is collected against the supplies? TCS not applicable where e-commerce operator is agent of supplier. Question number 6. X booked a hotel in Udaipur, Rajasthan through e-commerce operator for rupees 25,000. Amount payable at time of check-in. Whether TCS shall apply? Answer to question 6. No. TCS provision shall trigger only when e-commerce operator is receiving consideration. In present case, hotel is directly receiving consideration. Present transaction will not trigger TCS provisions under section 52. Sumitra Nandan books a hotel through e-commerce website, which is Zitcom Technology Limited, which is integrated with Tech Super Limited, has agreement with Hilltop Residency. Who is required to collect TCS in the given case? Zitcom Tech is buyer e-commerce operator, Tech Super Limited is seller e-commerce operator. Solution to question 7. TCS collected by e-commerce operator who is making payment to supplier. TCS is to be collected by Tech Super Limited. This is the last question, question number 8. AV Private Limited of Pune, Maharashtra provides housekeeping services. through e-commerce websites owned and managed by High-Tech India Private Limited, Pune. Turnover of AB Limited is 18 lakhs. Whether AB Private Limited to obtain GST registration, will your advice be different if AB Private Limited sells ready-made garments through e-commerce operator? Solution to question number 8. As per section 22, obtain registration if aggregate turnover is more than threshold limit. As per section 24, it is mandatory registration irrespective of turnover. But if a person supply goods, services or both through e-commerce operator who collect TCS under section 52, if e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax under section 9(5), supplier of such service is entitled to threshold limit. As per section 9(5), housekeeping is one such service where e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax on behalf of supplier. Housekeeping service provided by AB Private Limited not liable for registration as turnover is less than 20 lakhs is a notified service under section 9(5). AB Private Limited not required to obtain registration even if supplies through e-commerce operator. In the second case, AB Private Limited sells ready-made garments, which is not a notified service, not be entitled for threshold exemption, have to compulsorily obtain registration. End of chapter. Thank you.